my best roadmap strategies, I learned a lot along the way by experimenting. So experiment. Like today, it might be an experiment with a 30-second video with a camera on you. Tomorrow, it might be a carousel with multiple pictures. Like you have to experiment so you know how your most authentic voice is released into the world, but also how your audience finds you too, right? And some people might not like you, and you may not get all the likes and the follows and the comments, and people might give you a thumbs down, but who cares? Just get over yourself and get out of your own way and just start doing it.
We're here. We're taking a photo. We just started the episode. Welcome in. Welcome in. Looks like we're sounding good. We're looking good.
Yeah, we sound good. We look good. Remote office. Sound good, look good.
We sound good. We look good. We feel good. And they pay good. So that's what it is. That's what it is. Deion Sanders said that. So yes.
Wait, no, it's look good, feel good, money good, life good.
Okay,
think,
so that's
right?
another derivative. Yes,
Prime,
that works. That works.
prime
Yes.
time.
Prime time. Yes. Okay. We're here. Our 200th episode. Our 3-year anniversary. How are we doing today, Mandy?
Amani. Well, I'm back in a remote location. I am
Yes,
not
I
at the
love it.
renovation rental. I am back in Cleveland, Ohio,
Okay.
and I'm in my parents' basement this time. You can't see it,
Okay.
but
Okay.
the
Good.
normal little room I'm in is otherwise occupied. So I had the choice between my parents' basement or my niece's bedroom, which has a beautiful purple canopy and a lava lamp, but there's no lighting in there. And
Oh.
I'm not even sure I can get like Wi-Fi in there. So we're in the basement. We're in
We're
the
in the
basement in
basement?
Cleveland, Ohio. Yes.
Okay. Okay. I
Yes.
love it. Cleveland. What's the weather like in Cleveland?
It's really nice today. It's like 85. There's a little breeze to it. Yeah, we just went over a little bit ago. My husband and I went over to my sister and brother-in-law's house. Oh, the test guest. We went to the test guest's house,
Mm-hmm.
and Scoot jumped in the pool for a little bit, and we sat out next to the pool. It's beautiful. Nice little breeze.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for this episode, we are interviewing you. And so don't be nervous. So
I'm
I'm so
scared.
excited because I've never interviewed you before.
You've
And
never interviewed
I
me.
never
I've
and I was
interviewed you, but you've
yes,
never
you
interviewed
have.
me. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm excited. If you're in the chat and you want to ask many questions, put it in there and we can manage both. But I think we should get started because I want to maximize our 55 minutes together. What do you think?
Let's do it. I'm scared, and let's do it. So wait, if you're listening or watching live, I encourage you to drop questions in the chat because that will take away from some of Amani's embarrassing deep dive questions. and it'll get me off the hot seat and it'll yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll do it all. We'll do it all, Amani. I'm
Okay.
down. I'm ready.
I
Wait,
want
should
to
we
go
say
back.
why you're interviewing me? Should we say why you're interviewing me though? Like first or no?
Well, it's celebration of our 200th episode and our
Yes.
3-year anniversary. Mandy's
Yes.
already interviewed me for my book, so now it's my turn to interview Mandy, and I figured this would be the great time to interview you, and that's why.
That's right. And I even said we got to get somebody really good for our 3-year anniversary show. And Amani said, no, we're interviewing you.
Yeah.
Friends, I didn't have a choice. This is Amani just bogarted the whole situation. So I'm down. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do
Okay.
this. Yes.
I want you to tell us what was going through your mind when a fight broke out in high school. You were 15 years old and you decided to sell candy to kind of calm the masses down. Tell us about that. I've never heard of this. I want to hear this story.
Okay. I wish I could say it was more righteous, like I was actually calming the masses, but I wasn't. I was an opportunist, and I was the president of the Spanish Club, and we were raising money for the Spanish Club fundraiser. We were selling blow pops and Tootsie Roll pops and various candied items, and it's probably a mark of me not being a good friend. I mean, I think in general I'm a good friend. When I was 15, I was still working on it. And one of my girlfriends actually got in a fight with another girl. They were fighting over a boy, and they got in a fight right in front of Frau Periano's. It was a German teacher's classroom, and a crowd started gathering. And I was like, huh, like I've got all of these suckers to sell. This is a great opportunity. So I was just like, blow pops, Tootsie Pops, and I just sold them, just like, like as a hot dog sales lady at the baseball game or something. And I got rid of all of them. And then I ran and told the teacher, and the fight broke up, and everybody was fine. And nobody got hurt. Everybody learned a valuable lesson. Never fight over a boy. Never get in a fist fight. That's ridiculous. Use your words, not your hands. And a crowd gathered, and I sold the blow pops. So everybody ended up winning.
Okay. And that was when the sales career began.
I think like the itch, I honestly think the itch was way earlier than that. Like I've always wanted to sell things. I've always been putting things together and selling things. Like my little sister and I, when we were little, really little, we would put random items in our house, and we would put them in a wagon, like a blow dryer or used lipstick or just like a package of cookies, just weird things. And we would put them in a wagon, and we would walk up and down our streets as we were kids, and we would knock on people's doors, and we would sell things like out of our wagon, and people would buy them. I don't know why they would, but they would buy them. Maybe we were fun. We could have done some rhyming or sang some Christopher Cross songs or something. But yeah, like I think the selling's always been in me. I really do.
Okay.
I think I've been wired
Okay.
that way.
You referenced Christopher Cross. I love his song Sailing. So shout out to Christopher Cross.
Christopher Cross.
For anyone who's tuning in for the first time and meeting both yourself and me, Amani, how would you summarize you in 30 seconds or less?
Oh, damn it, Amani. I didn't prep for this one.
Of course you did. It won't be the last time.
You've only, in all fairness, you've only been asking this question in the last like 4 or 5 episodes, and you haven't been doing it every episode. This has been intermittent, so I was not prepared to answer this, but I will.
It won't be the last question you're not prepared to answer. Just trust me.
Okay, 30 seconds or less.
Yeah.
I am a proud and creepy dog mom to Luca. I am a very, very optimistic homegrown girl from Cleveland, Ohio, North Royalton, Ohio. Endlessly optimistic Browns fan, which I don't know why I am, but I am. I'm a business person. I'm a best-selling author. And I believe in putting the best in the world all the time, as much as possible.
Good. See, for that will get you your applause for the day.
Oh, I forgot to say that I'm a wife. I'm a wife of 11 years. We just celebrated our anniversary. I'm Scooter's wife. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Good thing you had that in there. Happy anniversary. Now, the companion question is, what are the 5 things you want to be known for?
Oh boy. Okay, I gotta hold my fingers up for this. Okay. I think the first thing is, from a business standpoint, being strategic. The second thing is unswervingly lifting people up, like just saying people's name in a room when they're not there and really lifting people up and asking people how I can help them. I think the third thing is fun. I bring fun and joy to business, and a time when we need fun and joy in every part of our worlds. The next one is loyalty.
Okay.
I'm loyal. Just you know what you're getting. I'm very, very loyal. I think the fifth one. I was gonna say funny business books, but I already just said funny. I just think energy. I'm known for bringing great energy and any type of energy to any situation.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, you've had a storied career, many jobs. You work for yourself. You work for different companies. If you were to pick one moment that was the turning point to your career, when would that be? Tell us about that.
I've had so many. I've had so many far left turns when I should have turned right. I think the very first one that I can think of, the first one that comes to mind, is when I moved from Ohio, which is where I'm at right now. I moved from Ohio to San Diego. And that was I went to Dublin, Ireland. One of my girlfriends won an all expenses paid trip to Dublin, Ireland. It was a radio station giveaway, and she brought me as her traveling companion. It was 1999, Y2K, the world's supposed to explode. And we went to Dublin, Ireland with 400 other Americans and Europeans. And it was a blind date. They called it the blind date concert. So they loaded us up on a bus and had a concert for us. It was Smashing Pumpkins. It was amazing. And I remember feeling so lucky and so grateful. And I thought, okay, I'm going to make a New Year's resolution that matters.
Mhm.
So I feel so lucky. And my New Year's resolution was that I was going to move out of Ohio by the time I was 25. And my birthday's in August, and it was December. So I had around 8 months to figure it out. And so when I went back to Ohio, I sent my resume out everywhere. I sent it everywhere. But you have to remember, I was 24 years old. I had only been in the working world for like 2.5 years. I had no experience. I was a marketing manager at a banquet and conference center here in Ohio, which was great. I loved the job, but I had no experience. So the only people that would call me back were San Diego. And so I flew out there in June and I interviewed and I came back and I said, I'm moving. I didn't even have a job. I just said, I'm moving to San Diego. And so the day before my 25th birthday, I loaded up my 25-foot moving truck, drove out to San Diego and landed there. It'll be 25 years next month.
All right.
And I got the job at the Sheraton San Diego. I had never worked at a hotel in my life. In fact, the general manager said to me, Joe Tersey said to me, and you couldn't say this now, but you could say this, that, and that's fine. I love him. I have no problems with what he said, but he said, you have no experience. And he was basically like, look at you. Also, my interview, what I wore was ridiculous. Not that what I'm wearing right now isn't totally ridiculous too, but what I wore was ridiculous. And I was so unpolished. I was not interview ready. I didn't have any mentors telling me like, wear this, say this, do this. I just kind of winged it. And he said, he basically said, you don't have the look, you have no experience, but I like you. And I think you've got a good personality. You've got good energy. And I'm going to find a job for you here somewhere. He's like, give me some time. So 2 weeks later, he came back and he gave me a job as a catering manager at the Sheraton San Diego. And that was his claim to fame as a leader. He was really known. He and one of our previous guests, Tim Mulligan, who was
Mhm. Mhm.
he was the HR director at the time.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
and Tim was actually the one that found my resume and a stack of resumes and was like, we got to hire this girl. And they both were known for finding talent. Even if my experience didn't match, they found what they considered talent at that time. But really, it was just a good attitude. And that was what changed my the first. There are many things that changed my career, but that was the first thing that changed. It leveled me up from banquet and conference center in Ohio to being in California, and really being in the hotel world. That was my entree into the hotel world.
Okay. Very good. Shout out to Loretta Allen who's tuning in. Thank you. She wishes us happy 3 anniversary.
Hi, Loretta.
Thank you very much. Now, let's take it to current day. Why do you love what you do?
Hmm. I mean, I'm in a sweet spot. I don't do anything I don't want to do anymore. I only work with people that I want to work with. I don't work with assholes anymore. Amani, I swore, you're just gonna have to deal with it. And I think sometimes when you run your own business, people, you get mired in the administrative stuff and you get mired in all this stuff, and you're like, oh, this one client that I have to fire. And it's like, no, you run your own business. You do not have to work with assholes anymore. You don't. So I love that part. I love making my own decisions on who I'm going to hire as clients, who I'm going to fire as clients, who I'm going to hire as people that work with me, who I'm going to fire. And I really love the give back component to it, right?
Mhm.
Like this podcast, so much of what we do is we're sharing
Yeah.
information with everybody about, like, it's a master class of these different industries once a week. From a sales coaching standpoint, I feel like I was made to educate and teach. And that's what I'm doing with sales coaching all day, every day. And it doesn't have to be one way. And I love that. I love that. Like, I was trained in sales in one way, but I always knew it could be a different way. And I've hung my hat on that.
Yes.
Um, and I love that. And on all my HPN stuff, I love, it's such a great service. It's such a great solution to find hotels and venues for people all over the world. It's so difficult to get availability, pricing, contracts, all that stuff is hard. And now that I've been doing this so long and I've been to so many destinations and I've had so many wars in terms of like just crazy stories, that I can see it a mile coming and I can really help my customers. Like I think there's a lot of value there. So I love that it's not one thing and I love it's diverse, but I like being mired in it
Okay.
deeply.
Okay.
Mhm.
Shout out Christine Hartman. Good to see you here. She says, "Yay to not working with assholes." So
Yes,
thank you for
Christine, say
that.
it. Oh, we even got a Amani to cuss. Yeah, it's my kind of interview.
Speaking of love, as you think back to all of your coaching clients,
Mm.
I'm sure there's one, you'd have to name them, that you just loved the work you did or the progress that you had with them. When you
Mm.
think of the coaching clients you love, what's one story of love that really just makes
Oh,
you smile?
oh, that's so nice. I love all my coaching clients,
Of
and
course.
you
Of
know,
course.
half the time it's teams of people, and the
Okay.
other half it's one on one. But the first thing that came to mind when you said this, and I don't want to say it's like children, you don't love one more than the other. But the first thing that came to mind when you said this was a woman approached me who I had known for a long time. She had one career for 17 years. And she was thinking about switching careers. And she was
Mm,
going from a very operational role, high level executive operational role, to an entrepreneurial sales type role and a completely different industry. And she was already at the top of her game. And she said, I want to hire you to help me with the interview process. And if that works, I want to hire you to help me navigate a sales world. I've never been in sales before, but I've basically been selling as an operator. And I saw her grow with every
mm,
single session. I do a roadmap, like initially we just do discovery. I have a system, like we have a roadmap. We celebrate some wins. I have a system and an agenda. And she did everything. Like you can lead the horse to the water, but it doesn't matter if they're not going to do anything. And she did everything and then some. And she would share her wins with me along the way. And then I saw her grow. And it was awesome because it was somebody, 17 years in a career, you don't really have to grow from there. You can just coast. And her turning was just phenomenal. And then when she got to the peak of that career and she was considering, a switch of companies, like a competitor was coming to grab her, she reached out to me again. And it's like these relationships, they last over and over and over again. And you're you're a partner in that. Like whenever I see her posting on LinkedIn or whenever she has a success, she still shares it. Like we don't work together anymore. She still shares it. Like that brings me great joy, is to know that I'm still on the like, hey, let me share my wins with you page. That's great. And just
right.
seeing that the morph from somebody that's been in the industry for so long, go to a completely different industry and grow even farther than she ever knew she
Yes.
could was
Yes.
phenomenal.
Great story. That's what I was
Yeah.
looking for.
Yeah.
Now, what is something that scares you?
I'm scared of the dark. Um,
Okay, what
I
else?
sleep, I sleep with the nightlight on. Unless Scooter's there, then he's my nightlight. Um, I think about this a lot. Like I have so many books in my mind, and I'm afraid I won't write them all before I die. Um, like I think about misprioritizing. Like I turn 50 next month, and I've really been thinking about, all right, it's go time. Like I've got 20, less than 20 years before I retire. And I think about like, am I putting everything out there that I want to put out? Am I sharing what I want to share? Am I strategically spending the time the way I really, really want to spend the time, or the way I think I could? Like that scares me. I think that scares me a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of books, what is your next book topic and what's it going to be about?
I got three in the hopper right now, Monty, but the next one is Business Bedside Manner. So it's a micro book. A micro book is a smaller book, 120 pages or less. It's a book that you can read on an airplane or at a pool. It's meant for short attention spans like we all have now. And Business bedside manner is something that I trademarked, registered trademark, like went through the whole process. It took a while, but I got the trademark. And business bedside manner is your approach. Who do you want to be in business? Who do you think you are in business? How do you show up? And it defines business bedside manner. It gives you the 4 key components of a good business bedside manner. It asks 5 questions to develop a better business bedside manner. And then it gives 6 tech hacks to create an unbeatable business bedside manner. So at the beginning of the book, you're like, what the hell is a business bedside manner? At the end of the book, you're developing your own. Like, you will have your own business bedside manner that you take into the world, and you will be looking deeply at yourself more than you normally would have by reading a book. Now, it's funny. I share stories. The whole thing about business bedside manner started as a bike rant at a deal gone awry. So it's a funny, it's on brand, a funny business book, but this one is very, you start with not knowing anything about it, and you will end walking away with your own business bedside manner. So I'm very excited about that one.
Now, what are maybe 2 or 3 lessons that you learned from your first writing experience, your first book,
Mm.
that you're going to apply to this process?
Well, I don't want to say don't hire a PR firm, because I love PR firms, but the PR firm I hired wasn't awesome. So either vet that PR firm differently, or be really strategic about the marketing, because I did all the marketing myself. My publisher was amazing. Like, they were awesome on um, illustration and editing, internal editing, external editing, the content editing. They were so good at that. They were very good at the cover. They were awesome at distribution. But the marketing piece, it's really up to you, right? So I would never do that myself again. I will hire a marketing agency to do that, because it's just such a heavy lift. But I'm glad I went through it myself the first time, because now I know what to expect. And when I interview marketing agencies, like, if they tell me they can't do anything, I'll be like, yeah, like, I know exactly what can be done. I know exactly how much time it takes. So I think that was my biggest thing. And you know, I think, like, when I first was looking at publishing a book, it was all about just getting the book out there. And then I think I got kind of wrapped up in, oh, I want it to be a best-selling book.
Mhm.
And I don't want to get wrapped up in, I want to be at a best-selling book. I just, and it was a best-selling book. It was a great success. But I think when you're going for the titles or the awards, it takes away from the process. And I think it takes away from your intention that you're putting out
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
And so I really, really just want to get business bedside manner out there. I just want
Yeah.
to be intentional about, like, getting this strategy out there, helping people realize their best personal business bedside manner. If the awards and the lists and all that stuff, if that comes with it, amazing. I'll take it. But I really want to be intentional in getting it out there, because I got a little wrapped up in it last time, and it, not that it didn't matter, but it's all about the content and
Yeah.
the reach anyways,
Yes. Well said. Now,
Yeah.
when Christine and I want to know, when will this micro book be released?
I have no idea. So sometime in 2026. It's
2026.
it's the outline is written, the book is basically written. There needs to be some restructuring of it, but I have not invested the time that I would like to in the last 6 months or so. This was supposed to be the first half of the year to do that,
Yeah.
and then, as you know, between
Life.
renovation stuff and life stuff and
Life be
family
life.
stuff
Yeah.
and life be lifing.
Yeah.
So I'm also not putting pressure on myself for that. Like, but I will say this, like, you asked me what I'm scared about. I'm scared I'm not going to get this book into the world fast enough,
Mm.
because we need it. Like, one of the key components of business bedside manner is empathy, practice empathy. We need it. Like, there's things in business we need desperately right now. And so I'm just worried I won't get it out fast enough, and everybody will be talking about business bedside manner, even though I trademarked it. Everybody will be talking about it in their own way. And it won't seem like I'm bringing it to them. It'll be like, oh, it's just another book about this thing we need to talk about, kind of thing.
Okay. You mentioned marketing. You are very, very skilled at sharing business and life on social media. And you're
Mhm.
very consistent with it. You do very well at it. What is maybe 2 or 3 pieces of advice for people who want to follow the same format and the same kind of plan that you've adopted? Roadmap, your roadmap.
I mean, get over yourself. Like, half my posts, I'm not wearing makeup. My hair's in a ponytail. I have mustard on my shirt. Like, just get over yourself. Like, I used to like have to be all dolled up, and it's just like nobody cares. Just be your most authentic self. Don't be over authentic, right? Where people are there, where you're just so, where it's blatant and weird, but like just get over yourself and just post. I mean, I think I learned a lot. My best roadmap strategies, I learned a lot along the way by experimenting. So experiment. Like today, it might be an experiment with a 30-second video with a camera on you. Tomorrow, it might be a carousel with multiple pictures. Like you have to experiment so you know how your most authentic voice is released into the world, but also how your audience finds you too, right? And some people might not like you, and you may not get all the likes and the follows and the comments, and people might give you a thumbs down, but who cares? Just get over yourself and get out of your own way and just start doing it.
How do you handle the mental component where you're not worried about like likes, impressions, views, etc.?
I don't care about any of that. I know that what I am putting into the world matters to just one person. And if it doesn't matter to just one person, it feels really good to me to just get it out of my head. So I don't care about that. From a business standpoint, for certain posts, like when I'm promoting things, yeah, I'm looking at the insights, I'm looking at what works and what doesn't. But when it comes to just like the daily activities, I mean, I have a plan of what I'm posting, but I'm not looking like, oh, I feel bad about myself. This one didn't get as many posts, or this one didn't get as many likes or comments. I always want people to comment. Like the greatest way to tell me you love me is to comment on one of my posts,
Mhm,
because that
mhm.
helps with the engagement. But I don't care about that. Like if it helps just one person, that's all that matters. Just one person.
Okay, okay. How has a failure or an apparent failure set you up for later success? Do you have a favorite failure of yours?
Oh Jesus. I have failed so many times. Like fail, fail, fail is how again, these are the first things that come to mind. I was a very young leader. I was a director of sales and marketing at 29, and it was my very first director of sales and marketing role. I had to build a team. We were opening a venue. Um, the owners weren't in the hospitality business; they were in the mortgage real estate business. So they did, it was new to everybody, and I was a bad leader. I was impatient. I put a lot of pressure on people. I was modeling some bad behavior. I had some leaders before me who I liked, and they got the most out of me. But what I learned through that is like when you manage people and you lead people, you have to meet people where they're at and build from there. And not everybody wants to be led the same way. I respond very well to structure and systems and tough love and brutal honesty, right? I respond to pressure and chaos. Like I respond to that. But not everybody does. So as a young leader at 29, I put on pressure. I publicly
Mm,
embarrassed people, not on purpose, but I thought in a group setting, we're going to talk about your numbers. We're going to talk about where you're at. What do you do? What are you not doing? And I learned that it would cause the meeting to be tight. Like the molecules in the air were tight, and then it closed everybody down. So I had to disarm the situation, and I learned the hard way. I learned that I was a bad boss, and I eventually became a good boss. Hi, Scooter. See, Scooter. Join us on the screen if you dare, Buns. Yeah, come on in when you're ready. Um, uh, so I was a bad boss, and then I learned how to be a good boss from being a really bad boss. Okay. Oh, Scoot's gonna say hi. You want to say hi?
Okay. Yes.
Oh,
Hello. Oh, we
Later.
have a little cake here. We have a little celebration cake. What's up there? Scoot makes an appearance. I love it. Okay, we have a
explain
happy.
what you're doing.
I'm making a tiramisu. So,
Okay. Ooh,
so
tiramisu.
I ran out of whipping cream. I had to whip some more cream, and now I'm going to put the third layer on and then cream it all up. A little
Oh,
cocoa powder. Should be good in about
okay.
2 hours.
I'm jealous. I want some tiramisu.
Yeah,
Okay.
good to see you,
Yeah.
Monty.
Wow. There you go. Okay. Wow. Okay. Let's go back to social media. We have a couple follow-up questions. So
Okay.
Christine wants to know what's the prime rate of frequency for like showing your live personal pressure on social media? Is it daily, every other day? What's your thoughts on that?
I do on Instagram. I do daily. I used to do in the morning and at night, and that worked for a while too. Again, Christine and anybody asking, you got to experiment. So I used to do in the morning and at night. Now I just do daily on Instagram. On LinkedIn, I just do 3 times a week, and I vary the posts. Um, but when it comes to frequency, the quality of the posts matter. So you want to give, right? It's like Gary Vee says, jab, 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 hook, right? You want to give value, give a stat, give some information that people might not have known otherwise, and then make an ask. If you're making an ask all the time, people are going to tune you out and you're overselling. You want to give to your community, and that's the best way to build a community. So for me, LinkedIn is 3 times a week or so. And unless I'm going somewhere interesting, I want to share that. And then Instagram's once a day. TikTok, I've been doing like once a day or a couple times a week, but I've been trying to do like a sales post once a day. That works for me right now, but it changes over time. You got to experiment.
Part of the result of doing a lot of work and putting a lot of stuff out there with social media, etc., is that you acquire critics.
Yeah.
How do you handle your critics?
I mean, people's opinion of me is none of my business. I'm sure I've got a lot of critics, but if you want to give me some criticism coming from a loving place, right? Because you want to give me constructive criticism and with the intention that I love you and I want you to be better, I will listen to that all day, every day. And I take it very seriously. And I do take action on that. I love constructive criticism. I know, Amani, you've given me some. And I appreciate that. I think that's what makes us great buddies, right? But if you're just criticizing me because you're a jerk, I have no time for you. Like you belong nowhere in my brain, in my sphere at all, because you're doing it to be a jerk. It's one thing. If you're doing it to help me, I'm all ears. I will listen all day, every day.
Yeah. Cool. Great answer. Russell Edmonds tuning in on Facebook. Thank you. He says, congrats. We appreciate the love.
Hi, Russell.
Right. Now, Mandi, tell us about the darkest time of your life. How did you get through that? And what did you learn from that experience?
Darkest time of my life. It's so every time you ask these questions, I have a flash of a moment. And I don't know if it's the darkest. It's the first
flash. Yes.
So I'm going to share this. So this had to be 1999. Yeah. I was living in Ohio. I was working, working girl, living in Ohio in a house with 3 roommates. And I had gained a bunch of weight. I was doing drugs. I had gained a bunch of weight. I was drinking a lot. I was very unhealthy, and I was not sleeping, and I was up late. And I remember I was watching, it was like an infomercial on TV. It was like one of those easy gliders or health something or other. And I just remember, and it was dark. Like it was visibly dark, but it was also a very dark time in my life where I was like, I think I went to 7-Eleven or something that night, and I was in line, and I thought the guy behind me was going to like attack me, stab me, something. And I just remember going back home being like, what's wrong with your brain? Like, what is wrong? What are you doing with your life? What is wrong? And I was 24 years old. Yeah, I was 24. Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, is this it? Like, are you just going to live in this Lakewood house with these 3 girls? Like, what's next? It was the first time I thought about like, what's next? I never really thought about what's next. But I remember I didn't like how I was living my life at that time. And I knew I needed a change. And then shortly after that, a bunch of crazy stuff happened. Like I met these, I was at a trade show. I was in the booth, and because I worked for a wedding venue. So I was like selling weddings, and the booth ladies across from me were selling essential oils, but it was before essential oils were a thing. They were real witchy, kind of really fun Stevie Nicks kind of ladies. I was super interested in them. And they said they were psychics. So I invited them to my Halloween party, of course, a couple weeks later. And then they read everybody's tarot cards and birthday, charts and stuff. And they were the ones that said, they told me, look up everything you possibly can look up about St. Bridget. That's what they said to me. So I did. So I researched St. Bridget, and she was the patron saint of Ireland. And female saint of Ireland. She was a writer. She was a poet. She was a healer. I learned everything I could about St. Bridget. And then a month and a half later, I win an all expenses paid trip to Ireland.
Okay.
And to me, Like everybody think that's a crazy woo woo kind of story, but like the universe put a whole bunch of things in my way that I actually listened to. And that was when the light started coming up. Like I started putting my life into focus in a much different way than I have. But that the darkest moment was watching the infomercial thinking a guy at 7-Eleven was going to like stab me. It was so
Okay.
weird. Eating, I remember I was eating like blocks of cheese. Like I remember I had acne. I was so overweight. Now all those things are fine if that's your destiny, right? But like I just didn't feel good. And I knew there was something better for me.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Now, who is the most influential? I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask anyways. Who is the most influential person for you growing up?
Well, I have a lot of influential people.
Well,
Who do you think? I want to hear who you think I'm going to say.
Maybe your dad?
Oh, my dad. Well, my mom and dad,
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah.
My mom, my whole family was
Okay.
very influential to me because everybody worked really hard, but everybody always brought joy and levity. Even like right now, we're all gathered in Ohio for my nephew's funeral, which is devastating. We're devastated, right? 36 years old. He's
Too
he's
young.
too young to pass.
Yeah.
But we're all still laughing together. We're all still like I was at my sister's today and she's got a diabetes pump and she was talking about the dress that she's going to wear to put her pump in her pocket and we're like, oh my gosh, what if you're giving the eulogy and the pump falls out and we're like, look at the pump. Like even then we're just and I think my family is the most influential unit in my every single one of them, mom and dad. My mom and dad. I could go name by name and list why each person is influential. But yeah, I mean, it starts with family for me. It starts and ends with family for me.
Good answer. Good answer. Now, what do you find easy to do that your friends find hard to do?
A lot. Which
Well, give us top three. Give us top three.
Top three. I think really fast. I process information very quickly.
This is true. This is
I
true.
know, and I know it's so annoying to you because like I think fast, I process information fast, and I spit things out fast. And even my husband, who's cerebral and a genius, he's so smart, but he'll even be like, pause for a minute. Like it takes most normal people time, but I thought everybody thought that way, and that I was just being impatient. But maybe I have undiagnosed ADHD. I have no idea, but I process information quickly, and I think very, very quickly. I don't know. What easy for me is difficult for others.
Do you think very
Positivity.
fast? Positivity. Okay, keep going.
Positivity.
Positivity.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I have an ability to forgive or not be judgmental. That is, or a capacity to love. I don't know how that's all wrapped into one, but like, I, there are some people, like some of my friends are like, I can't believe you are still friends with that person. I can't believe you are still interested in that person. I'm like, they're just doing their best. I think, I don't know if you call that empathy or a bandwidth or whatever that is.
Yeah. Good. That's good though. Yeah. Now, what would you like to be better at?
Oh, Jesus. Everything. What would I like to be better at? I mean, right now I'm in this big health zone. Like I just think about lifting weights. Like I'd like to do more chin-ups and push-ups. Like right, I want to have better physical balance.
Okay, that's a good one.
I want to be able to walk up and down stairs without like holding a railing or like worrying that my stigmatism is gonna trip me up. Yeah, like for me right now, it's just all about health and just maximizing that.
Tell the people why it's all about health. What your goal is when you turn 50. Tell the people about that.
Tell the people. I'm going to tell the people.
Tell the people.
I turned 50 next month, and last year I set a goal. It's called Best by 50, BB50, and I created 6 categories of what I wanted to be better at. When I wake up on my 50th birthday, I wanted to be the most comfortable I could ever possibly be in these 6 categories. So the categories are spiritual, financial, business, nutritional, physical, and emotional. So once a month, I've been setting these micro goals, chipping away at it, in a micro goal for each category, like a little micro goal for each category. I've been chipping away at it. And as a result, like I'm 55 pounds down today than I was 18 months ago.
Wow.
I would say from an anxiety disorder standpoint, which I have, it's something I manage every day. From a meditation standpoint, my anxiety is much more under control than it ever has been, even considering all the stressors that have been happening in the last 6 months or so. Yeah, I mean, if you go category by category, I feel really good when I wake up on August 9th in less than a month that I've done the work, and I want to continue to do the work and level up from there. But it's been a
Right.
lot of work.
I was looking at the calendar, but I remember you're going to be on vacation for your birthday, so we'll plan something else. But what has been the key for you to consistently finish your micro goals, which have then led to bigger and just some amazing results? What's been the key?
Consistency and tracking it. Like, so I journal every night of how I feel about whatever, or just clear the cobwebs. But I also have a Google spreadsheet, and I'm looking at that like once a month. And if there are certain goals I've set that are too high or too low or don't make any sense, so I've just forgiven myself for not completing them. Like,
Okay.
yeah, that was just too lofty of a goal. Set a different one. That's the beauty of resetting them once a month. Some goals have become a ritual, and other goals just completely went off. I didn't do
Got
them.
it.
I didn't. Yeah.
Okay. What's the one lesson in life that took you the longest to learn?
Mm, Geez Louise. Not like you don't know everything. I've never thought that I knew everything, but it's okay to be dumb about some stuff. It's it's okay to not know everything. It's okay not to have the answers. It's okay to learn. Like, I'm a curious person. It's okay to ask a lot of questions. Like, even if you're in a room and it feels like everybody around you knows exactly what they're talking about and they're the smartest people in the room, it's okay to ask a question. Be like, wait a minute, what does that mean? Because you might be asking the question that other people might wonder about too, but they're too afraid to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, every person has a sentence. What is your sentence? For example, my sentence is I help people unlock their creativity through the use of music and nostalgia. What is your sentence?
I mean, if we're looking at just pure sales coaching,
It's Mandy's sentence. It can be whatever
oh,
Mandy wants it.
Mandy's sentence.
Doesn't have to be coaching related, business related.
I mean, I bring joy and love to all beings as much as possible.
Okay, that's good there. Okay.
I
Now,
try to. I'm not 100% on that,
no
obviously.
one's perfect. No such thing as
Try.
perfection. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, you and I are both big readers.
Mhm.
If you were to pick one book that people should stop what they're doing right now and start to read it immediately, what book comes to mind?
Alex Trebek autobiography, and the answer is, it's
Okay,
so good.
tell us
There's
why.
a there's a whole bunch of other books. Oh, we have an update on the tiramisu. Hold on. Hold on. We've got incoming tiramisu. Okay. Don't hit this cord.
Mm,
Yeah, we can see it.
Now,
Okay.
mm.
third layer.
Yes, yes. Loretta says she wants a piece. Loretta says she wants a piece. So
Looks
save
good.
some
Looks
for us.
good.
Save
Good
some
job,
for us to put it on the plane.
Why is it a good book? First of all, you think you know Alex Trebek, but you don't. He owned ranches. He was a handyman, and it's a good read because it's kind of like listening to your grandpa tell stories. It switches gears all the time. Like, they're little blocks of information. It makes you fall in love with them all over again. And he talks about like how he started Jeopardy and how he maintained this level of integrity with a game show at a time when there was a lack of integrity in game shows. And his integrity weaves through everything that he does. And I think it's just a good reminder on how to live your life personally and how to live your life professionally. I got a lot out of it
Mhm.
personally and professionally.
Okay, that's a good one. We'll add that to our list.
Yeah.
Christine says, congrats on your health journey. I agree. Keep up.
Thanks, Christine.
What's been the best advice that you have ever received?
The first things that come to mind when you, and I'm gonna say them because like that's just
Yeah,
what's happening.
that's
It's not
good.
the best, but it's the first thing. I was in a situation a while ago where an older person in my life not my parents, but an older person in my life was adamantly telling me what this person wanted me to do with their money after they die. And there was some contingencies about monitoring different people. There's some things they were asking me to do that I was uncomfortable with. Not illegal, but just in general uncomfortable. I'm not a fussy person. I don't like to get involved with this drama kind of stuff. And I felt uncomfortable with it. And I was sharing this with a woman in my life who's I'm very, very close to, a family member. And she said, you know what, Mandy? You can just lie. Tell them you're going to do it because they're going to be dead. And I was like,
wow.
That's such good advice. And it's a low grade, low risk lie, right? Because they weren't asking me to carry on the family tradition, or they weren't asking me to do what they were asking me to do was absurd. But if I would have said, yes, I'm 100% going to do it, it just gets them off my back. And if I didn't carry it out, it wouldn't matter. And it was one of those things where I was like, now I got to deal with this until this person dies. Like, this is such BS. But she was like, they're going to die. They won't know. Just lie. And I am not, I'm an honest person. I don't believe in that. But there was something so liberating about that. There was something so liberating about that. So yeah, I think that was good advice.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
When you look at our podcast, over 200 episodes.
Yeah.
What surprised you about the podcast, and what are 3 things you learned that you didn't expect to learn?
I'm surprised that we're still doing it. I mean, not about you or me, but like most podcasts fail or they stop after like 12 and then 25 and then 50. We've just kept going. I am surprised we're still doing it. And I'm delighted we are. And we just keep going. I know we're just getting started, but I'm surprised we're still doing it. And then what 3 things? What was the other question? The 3 things.
You learned from the podcast.
Oh, well, I've learned how to do a podcast. So I didn't, you taught me about sound and live shows and streaming and restreaming and evergreen content. Like, I didn't know the world of the podcast is a whole new world. So I've learned all things podcasts, and now I'm an evangelist for it. And I love sharing about it. Right. I think the other thing I've learned is like, we're a live show. Like earlier today, my cousin was walking down here. She's like, I don't want to be in the way. I'm like, get in the way. Like, this is a live show. So I think I've learned that like when you have a live show, anything can happen and you just roll with it. It's helped my professional speaking too, because it's made me less nervous on stage. Like I do this once a week. Anything can happen. I can get on a stage for 45 minutes. Anything can happen. Yeah. And I think the third thing, I've learned so much. I mean, the third thing that I've learned is, when you build a community, it's just like, if you build it, they will come. We're building something and people show up over and over and over again. And if you build it and you're consistent, people will come. And it's proved time and time again to be true with the podcast.
Okay. Before I ask my famous final question, I got a couple more for you. My first one is that if Mandi is coming up to bat for the Cleveland Guardians, bottom of the ninth, you're down 3-2 to the Yankees, but there's a man on second and a man on third. What song is playing as you walk up to bat?
Oh, man. Brave.
By?
Sarah Bareilles.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. No question. Yes, that's your song. Great. Don't need to ask.
That's my walk-up song. I thought you were going to ask me what my batting strategy was going to be. I was totally thinking, I'm like, am I bunting? Am I slap bunting? No. Am I changing? Am I batting left? Am I switching the pitch? What am I doing?
You're just the song. Just don't need to talk about strategy. Tell the people how they can find out more about Mandi, and also, we have the links that are going, but talk to us about the importance of the California Hotel Lodging Association Foundation. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. Okay. If you want to, just find me. I'm weirdly available. MandiGraziano.com. Mandi with an I, Graziano with a Z. All my blogs are on there. They're really funny. Encourage you to read them and let me know what you think, from a loving place. This podcast, you can just Google Mandy Graziano. And the California Hotel Lodging Association, this is an organization very near and dear to me. I'm one of the board directors for it, and we give scholarships to students that are attending California colleges who are pursuing a career in hospitality. And when I say hospitality, I don't mean a hotel. Like, it can be a restaurant, it can be a revenue management situation, it can be a real estate. You can work for a real estate agency that specializes in buying or leasing out hotels. Like, we give away, like last year, I think we gave away $165,000 in scholarships. This year, I think we'll give away close to $200,000 in scholarships. It's, I've been on a lot of boards. It's one of the most gratifying board work I've ever done, because you get to see these students. You meet every year. We have the gala. So this year we have the gala coming up in the fall. It's in October. Get a ticket to it. It's in San Francisco, and it's at the Argonaut Hotel. And the students tell their stories at the actual gala, and you get to meet the students. So we have like 90 minutes of networking with students before the event starts. And these students, they're ready to work. If they're not already working, they're coming up to you, they're asking for advice. But like, if you are an organization looking for a qualified young person to work for your organization, go to that gala, because there's literally 90 students there that are qualified and they are ready to be hired. And so, they come to you and they ask you questions, and then you stay in touch along the way. So 2 or 3 or 4 years ago, a girl named Nicole came up to me, one of the scholarship recipients. She was somebody that worked for the front desk at a hotel. And then she said she's thinking about sales. She ended up, eventually getting promoted to sales coordinator, eventually getting promoted to sales manager. She recently did a site inspection for one of my clients. I ended up hiring her for one of my sales coaching clients to do a shop. Like, these relationships, they start and they never ever end. And to me, like, to be a part of something where you're actually giving money and you are building the bench of your industry is so valuable. So I'm going to do a 50th birthday promotion coming up on Instagram, where donate whatever you can to the California Hotel Lodging Association. There will be a button that you can click on. And if you don't want to wait for that thing to come out on Instagram, you can go to the California Hotel Lodging Association Hospitality Foundation website, click donate, even if it's just $10. Like, every little bit counts to building the bench of our industry. And even if you're not in the industry, if you've ever gone to a bar or a restaurant or a hotel, you're helping these students. So just give to it, because it's one of those things that just gives back over and over and over again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of like board service, many people look at that as like, why would you give away your time for free? You are an extremely business person, have 3, maybe 4 businesses that you run. Why do you still give your time away to different organizations? Because it's not just the California Hotel and Lodging Association. You also volunteer with like MPI, Southern California, and other organizations. What's your perspective on that?
I feel it's a duty. I think when you get to a certain point in your career, you can say, I don't have time, or you can say, I'm going to give back. And I just feel like I want to give back. And it's not for everybody. Like, I'm not shaming people that don't give back or invest time, but it's gratifying. I probably get more out of it than the organizations get out of it. And I just think it's the right thing to do. I think
Okay.
I think it's the right thing to do. It feels good to me, so I do it. I'm all about just doing stuff that feels good.
I love it. I love it. 2 more questions for you. If you were to
Okay.
pick one accomplishment in your life, just one, that you're most proud of,
Hmm.
which one is that?
I think being a wife. I think I was really bad in relationships for a really, really long time. And I always made my career number one, always. And I sacrificed some great relationships with some great dudes, but I'm kind of glad they didn't work out, because it led me to Scooter, who is making a tiramisu for my family right now. Like, what a great dude, right? Um, but it's really hard to be in a relationship, and it's very, very hard to be married, even if you got a great dude, right? And you're a great girl. Like, it's all of that coexisting with another human is hard. And I work very hard at it every day. We both do. And I do feel like it's one of my greatest accomplishments. Like, as soon as I turned the corner and decided to make love my number one priority, um, the better job opportunities came, more money came, and more happiness came. So I think being a wife is one of my greatest accomplishments.
I love it. Now, if we go back to talk to Mandi, 21 years old, she's in Cleveland, north of Cleveland. Give her advice based on everything that you have been and experienced now. What advice would you give your younger self?
Oh, God. She was a mess.
The whole point of the question is this. This is the whole point of the question.
I mean, I would tell her, just get the chip off of your shoulder. Like, just open yourself up and look for the good in everybody, because it's there, and not everybody's out to do you wrong or harm you or, get in the way of whatever you want to do. Just look for the good. I would tell her, look for the good and you'll find it. Look, I live my life like that now, but it's taken me a lot of work to get there. And it's fun. I was class clown. Like, people will tell you, oh, Mandi, you were so funny. But like, I also had a big chip on my shoulder, and I was sarcastic, and I got in a lot of trouble, and I was mouthy, and I didn't need to be that girl, like, I could use that. I could use my, like, what is that? Like Glinda, the good witch, use your powers for good. I could use my powers for good.
All right. Yes. Well,
Yeah.
That's a good segue, because I want to compliment you on using all your powers for good, being a leader in our industry.
Thank you.
I also really want to compliment you on accepting the challenge I gave you about doing the podcast and doing it weekly. I think that that was so funny when we first were talking about it, but we learn a lot from you. I learn a lot from you. So keep being you and just keep being a leader. And with that, I want to give you another round of applause.
Oh, thank you, Amani. This has been fun. And happy 3-year anniversary.
Yes. Happy 3-year anniversary.
It's been a great ride, and I'm so proud of us. And you have been leading the charge with us. And I know I make you crazy with my spreadsheets and my systems and processes, but you were leading the charge on this. And I never would have done this if it wasn't for you. So just thank you for being you. I appreciate you.
All right. So that wraps up our episode for today. Who do we have to look forward to next week?
I knew you were going to ask me, and I committed to memory, and now I forgot. Lynn?
We'll see. We'll look. Hold on. Let me check real quick. We'll check real quick. It was on my newsletter. So let me look real quick, and we will see here. Our next guest for next week is Leslie Owen.
Leslie, not Lynn. Leslie Owen.
Yes,
right.
Linda Larkin is next week, the week after. So Leslie Owen is next week. Thank you all for tuning in live and watching and listening to the replay. Make sure to rate, review, subscribe on the platform that you're watching on. Please subscribe on YouTube, share it with a friend. And with that, we will see everyone next week, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 o'clock on the West, for another episode of Adventures in Business Live.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Adventures in Business. Don't forget to rate and review our podcast on the platform that you're currently listening it on. And don't forget to share it with your friends and anybody that might be as much of the business nerds as Amani and I are. See you next time for another captivating interview.